Hey guys, and welcome back to Jay the One-Eyed Gamer. And today I've got a special guest with me, my good friend.
I'm Dragon Man of Everything Incorporated.
Yeah, that's gonna set the tone for the rest of this.
Might as well.
Yeah, might as well. But today we're gonna be talking about our predictions for Tokyo Game Show, which is gonna be happening in a couple days. So if you like, stick around. I'm gonna make sure that I put timestamps down in the description so you guys can jump to the parts you want. We're gonna be talking about mostly the developers and what games we think they're going to announce at TGS, because nowadays TGS isn't just, in my opinion, for Japan. Its main appeal is Japan, but when the big companies, the big third parties reveal a big title at TGS, it's almost always guaranteed to come over to the West. It's just...
Yeah, I think my only critique of Tokyo Game Show is that I think many of them are still in this kind of island mindset where Tokyo Game Show is made for Japan, but they kind of, they do this thing where they, they'll announce a game and then a couple months later they'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, we're announcing this new game, and it's like, no, you announced that back in September. What are you talking about?
Yeah, now you're just announcing it's officially coming to West. Yeah. I'm looking at you, Gundam Versus.
I think my only caveat to this year is, like TGS is TGS, but this year's kind of sucked for gaming. I mean, E3 wasn't that great, Gamescom wasn't that great, PAX is, I'm sure it's great to go to, but it wasn't that great for, games and what's going to be released. So hopefully, hope against hope, TGS, they give us a lot of cool stuff to, work with, something that's coming out maybe next year, maybe the end of, this year, the beginning of the next. I'm hoping for a lot of cool stuff, but I mean, temper it with a little bit of realism.
And on that note, guys, we're going to get started, finally.
Yeah.
I guess first on the chopping block is probably our favorite Japanese developer before they decide to go... Are they trying to be AAA now? Is that the hope of Koei?
I guess so. Tecmo Koei, they've kind of grown over the years, and because of that, they've just decided, big plans. We're going to put out all these games. I'm expecting that we're going to hear probably one game from each of their little 5 companies.
Yeah, the biggest thing I want, and I think most of us want at this point, is a release window for Dynasty Warriors 9. Japan, obviously, because it's going to get a Japanese. But if we get a release window for Japan, we can then speculate, maybe like 5-6 months down the line, we'll probably get our English version for the West. So I just want a release window. I also want gameplay. Half the stuff we keep hearing in most of my videos like we've made, we don't have any evidence to support most of the claims of the clone weapons and the movesets, because all we get are still images, and you can't really pull how the game feels from a still image. So
yeah, why when I started my my videos, I just did analysis of the characters because I haven't seen gameplay, so I can't. I don't want to I don't want to comment on the clone weapons right away to be like, well, I mean, you got, what is it now? It's like 3 people have the same weapon so far.
Manchong, Jaichong, and Guohai.
Yeah, they all have the same weapon. I didn't want to be like, well, give my speculations on it until I had a little bit more concrete of an answer. I think when it comes to the release window, though, I'm gonna take a guess and say either March or February.
I'll go with that. I'll probably go with March, because most of the time when Warriors games release like early in the beginning of the year, it's usually on a March.
Yeah. I also was gonna say that because I think that there's gonna be at least 5 or so characters that are gonna be announced between now and then.
Yeah.
Because the way they've released it so far is they did Joe Kong back in December, and then they waited 5 months. Did Chengpu in May. They skipped June because E3, but at the beginning of every month since then, we've gotten a new character. In July, we got Manchong. In August, we got Shun Yu.
Yep.
And then September, we've gotten Shu Sheng. So I would expect October, we're going to get a new character. It'll probably be either Shu or Jin.
I'm going to say Shu.
Yeah.
But we could speculate probably that about in another video.
Yeah. I agree. I was just saying, I think if you add it up after that, it's going to be 5 characters.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet to claim. I also think they're going to reveal... I would like them to reveal a new Warriors Orochi game. I know we just got Musou Stars, but I liked it. I'm having fun, but it just doesn't have the same appeal when it's not all of, Dynasty and Samurai Warriors together. That's their 2 biggest franchises from Megaforce. I think that's what really makes those crossover games fun, is having the Dynasty Warrior characters and the Samurai Warrior characters, play with each other in a mystical setting. At least that's for me, because I loved Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate. That was actually pretty fun.
It was. I think they'll wait a little bit on that, just because I think they're gonna want to get they're gonna want to get 9 out, and then you'll have all the new characters, you'll have all the new costumes, how their weapons will work, the new systems, and then they'll combine it together.
Yeah, but I think Warriors games are always a game behind, because if you remember, they used 7 sprites even though 8 was out before, I think,
that's true.
Warriors Orochi. But that's just speculation. I would also like a new Dead or Alive game. I've been playing Dead or Alive Last Round for the last year or two, and I know it's still making an appearance on their stage show, which good for them to keep supporting, but at this point it's more like costumes, and some of the season packs, I think they said if you accumulate all of it, it's over $200+ for all the season packs, and that's just costumes.
Yeah, you can. How many sexy nurse costumes can you get?
Exactly. I'm just saying at this point, I think they should reveal, even if it's just a logo that says Dead or Alive 6. That's all I need to know, that, hey, the next version is coming along. It may not, we can't show you anything other than the logo, but I'm like, that's fine. At least if I know you're working on it and you're going to show it in the coming year, that's fine with me. That's all I really want.
I think that would be smart for them to do. Or maybe just say that they're going to end it, and then they don't put 6 up there. They just let, kind of the rumor mill spill. They're like, oh, is this just over entirely? Or, are they working on 6? Let it build up. I mean, I don't know if that or, how it works over there, but I think that would be the best thing for them if they just kind of put it on the back burner. Just let it rest a little bit, and then maybe next year or the year after be like, boom, Dead or Alive 6.
That could work. I'm not getting tired of the game, but I just, you want new.
Yeah.
It's nice to be supported that long, but then after a certain while, you just want something new. You want new graphics, new engines, new all this. That's really what I just want. So
you want to see kind of a new meta also evolve in the fighting genre itself.
Again, and then this one we haven't seen, I think, since the 3rd iteration, a Ninja Gaiden game. Ninja Gaiden 3 was the last one we saw, right?
The most we got out of Ninja Gaiden, I think, has been all these crossover games.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen Ryu in his own game since Ninja Gaiden 3 all the way back on the PlayStation 3, and that game was atrocious.
I think, maybe 3 poisoned the well for them and they don't want to go back to it. I think if they're smart, maybe they give the game to Platinum or see if Platinum will work with them, and then they could revamp the game, make it a little bit better. Platinum maybe helps them out, see where they can go with it, and instead they reboot it. They just say, hey, here's Ryu Hayabusa, but here's the new Ryu Hayabusa.
Yeah, I would like that idea. I think that would work, but I don't think they might do it just because with the success of Nioh as, their new flagship from Team Ninja, this might reinvigorate them to try Ninja Gaiden. I don't mind Ninja Gaiden, but if they did, I want the controls to feel a lot more tight than they did, because the old games, he didn't feel very grounded. The slashes didn't really feel like they were hitting anything. Nothing felt like there was weight behind any of Ryu's moves.
He's very flighty. I guess because he's supposed to be a ninja, so I guess he's just bouncing around.
I'm getting that response. I'm fleeing.
Exactly. I think, like I said, I think that would be good though if they either rebooted it, went back to just say here's the new one in it, or maybe they just kind of do the Devil May Cry thing. Here's
God no.
No. I'm going with here's Devil May Cry 4. It doesn't really have anything to do with Ryu is in it, but it doesn't really have anything to do with him. It's
okay,
more about,
that's what I thought. I thought you were going with the DMC. I was like,
not DMC. No. That was a horrible.
If it was,
horrible,
I will give
choice.
DMC this won the ramp for that.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a Devil May Cry game, it probably would have been a really good action game. But since it was a Devil May Cry game, it had a lot of things to live up to.
It had a lot of things to unpack and fix.
So that's just that's what that is.
Yeah. But that's what I was saying with Ninja Gaiden.
And then of course all their other studios. I don't know about Atelier. I don't really pay attention. Those games don't really interest me.
I'm sure they'll announce 5 Atelier games from Gust, and they might announce 2 expansions to Romance of the Three Kingdoms 13. It'll probably be Super Deluxe R edition.
What about Nobunaga's ambition?
Ambition delayed at McDonald's or something.
And I guess to close it out with Tecmo Koei, I guess a new IP. But then Nioh's their newest IP. I don't think they'll really give us a new IP, because Nioh really killed it for them. I think Nioh put them in the limelight.
I think we're gonna get an expansion. I mean, we just got the Masamune one, but I think we're gonna probably get another one. I would assume.
They already said the last DLC is coming out, I think, by the end of the year. So if they do an expansion, they might let you play as other characters besides William, because I know he interacts with like Ieyasu, Hanzo, Yukimura, Muneshiki, Tachibana, all the famous guys at the end of Sengoku Jidai period.
I think he also deals with Toshie, because I think there's a whole quest line. Because I remember watching on TFS, I think they did, where they talked to Toshie and his wife.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the Azai. It's one of those famous power couples of the day. But new IP, I don't see them pulling out too much craziness. We might see, even though Dynasty Warriors is coming out, we might see a new crossover game. Maybe they'll pick up some like anime that, you know, people are really loving right now and be like, here's the Musou version of that, or take some IP that everybody loves. Like, I mean, I don't see them doing it, but you know, that seems to be their kind of wheelhouse right now. You know, sort of we'll just grab some other title and combine it with a Musou and we'll call it a new IP. You know, maybe they'll call up like Square Enix and be like, hey, can we do Final Fantasy? I mean,
I would love a Final Fantasy Musou game.
We just did, Fire Emblem. Come on, do this with us.
Enough for that's
Tecmo
enough for Koei.
So we'll move on to Capcom.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. I would say my biggest reveal I want from them is Devil May Cry 5. We already know it's essentially in development thanks to that leak from I think it was the motion cap actor. He put it on his resume.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that was the leak.
I can't remember it off the top of my head. It was either the motion cap or it was somebody. It was somebody that wasn't like the voice actor.
Yeah,
but
and who probably wasn't supposed to put that down on a resume as of yet. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if I want it to be a reboot, a soft reboot of the series, or if it's going to continue where 2, because as of this point, I think the furthest they've ever gone with Dante time-wise is Devil May Cry 2, because Devil May Cry 3 and 4 take place between Devil May Cry 1 and 2. No, I'm sorry. Devil May Cry 3 takes place before Devil May Cry 1, and Devil May Cry 1 and 4 take place between 3 and 2. Confusing.
See, I think they need to just kind of reboot it, and the only reason why...
Yeah, and this time don't kill Virgil off.
Yeah, I was going to say that, because a lot of people love Virgil, and I think they just want to have Virgil back in the game, and I think that's why DMC, I think that's why everybody loved the idea of it, because I think you got, an entire DLC dedicated to Virgil, even though it was, emo hipster Virgil.
Yeah, it was very lackluster to say the least.
Here's my evil turn.
But
I never saw that coming.
But with that, we also have the news of, I don't know the director's name, and I'm not going to try and butcher his name, but the guy who's in charge of Devil May Cry, he said he's working on a new title, and so everyone thinks it's Devil May Cry 5. But with that, I'd also like to bring up, because he's also worked on Power Stone, he's worked on Rival Schools, and Darkstalkers. So with that, I want to bring it into those 3 possibilities. What I would like to see, if it's not Devil May Cry 5, I'd like them to talk about either a new Rival Schools, a new Darkstalkers, or a new Power Stone, and all 3 are fighting games. And I know that's competing with, Street Fighter 5, but I feel like bringing any one of those series back would be really good. I know the fighting game community really love Rival Schools. Like, there's a bunch of old school gamers like myself who really love and have a soft spot for that. There's also a bunch of guys that would really love to see like a brand new Darkstalkers with like an M rating with the graphics from like Street Fighter 5 or better, and I think that would go over really well. The one that has the least likelihood of happening, and it upsets me because it's literally a Smash Brothers clone, and that's Power Stone, but I loved Power Stone as a kid. This is just me as someone who grew up with a Sega Dreamcast. Like, I loved that console.
Well, then wouldn't it be the reverse? If it came out when you were a kid, it's just Power Stone is, or Super Smash is a Power Stone?
No, because Super Smash came out before Power Stone. Smash came out on the N64, remember? And the N64 came out before the Sega Dreamcast, so that's why it would follow that suit. Yeah. But I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I thought it was the other way around.
And on that note, I would love Capcom to either make a collection.
There is one that I just thought that we keep forgetting. Monster Hunter X World or whatever it is. That I'm sure that's going to get some time dedicated to it.
Obviously, that's going to get an insane amount of time dedicated to it. I was a little disappointed when I saw that was the reveal at PlayStation, but I understand it was a very good reveal for Capcom and Sony, because that is a huge game worldwide, and it's just not my cup of tea. It has me interested, but I probably wouldn't pick it up on my own.
Yeah, I'm slightly interested, but I need to see gameplay before I can...
Oh, there's gameplay of it. I'm just like...
I mean, just like, I want to see a whole demo.
Oh, okay.
Like, I mean, I don't know how long they're going to go up there, but if they gave me a 5-minute demo, just showed me how the game works, I might be like, okay, that seemed more interesting. But you were saying about new IPs, possibly?
No, I was talking about the Dreamcast. Personally, my opinion is I would love for Capcom to either give us a CD collection or a digital collection of all their old Sega Dreamcast games, because God knows those were like some of the funnest games you had to play back in the day, and it's got some of the most well-loved franchises on that system, and I think it'd be a great idea to get them like a little capital, like, you know, people are gonna buy them. It's a sure bet, because nostalgia sells. That's literally all it is nostalgia will sell you, and I wouldn't mind going back to those games with just like updated graphics for, you know, current gen that I can just play.
I wonder, would it be Soul Calibur 1 or 2 that they would
That's not Capcom.
No, yeah, you're
God, man. I might take your gamer card back from all this, man.
Dude, you know what it is? You said Dreamcast, and in my head I'm like, Dreamcast. What's on the Dreamcast? Oh, yeah! We'll come back to that.
Yeah, we will come back to that. Yes, we'll talk about Street Fighter V. I agree with mostly everyone else out there who's making the motion that there should be a Super Street Fighter V either as a standalone disc or a massive update and add new features to Street Fighter V to maybe like get new blood in, like have an arcade mode this time, have another massive story mode, more characters, legacy characters, like I know people love Sagat and Sakura and probably some other characters, but I know they're the two biggest. Have them come back. Give probably a second critical art so people can have variety. I don't know about the V-Trigger. I can understand how long that would take and balance, because if you give a new V-Trigger and it's like amazing compared to the old ones, then you know that's going to get dropped immediately.
Oh yeah, because people are just going to pick the better one.
Exactly.
I don't play Street Fighter. I won't lie about that. I think Street Fighter itself has had a kind of really rocky, it's been a really rocky, I think, year or two for it. So I think you guys are right in the community to say, hey, maybe you need to revamp it, because, it took them like almost a year to get out the story mode itself.
Yes.
So
they were more focused on esports, and I agree with one of my favorite YouTubers, Maximilian. When you're making a fighting game, you shouldn't focus on esports. If you want to go that way, that's cool, but I agree with him. You should focus on fun first. Like, the game should be fun, and then you can build everything else around that.
Or you know what you do, and I know this is, a little bit elitist. You build the story later, and if you're going to work on esports, put it out there. Give it to the, give it to the esports teams. Let them play it, and just keep having the circuits and show off the game on the circuits. And then you can, you don't, like, people will get hyped because they'll be seeing it on the circuits, and they'll be like, oh my god, when does this come out? When does it come out? And then after maybe like a tournament, you just go, this is when the game comes out, and put the game out. And, then you've had your esports hype, and then people can get, into the game and play, or, maybe just even have at a esports tournament, just, hey, you can play the game, you can demo it for a little bit, and then put it out there. Not release it prematurely, and then we'll just add things later.
Yeah, that's really what killed it, is not having enough options offline, because there are a lot of people who buy fighting games and don't go online, and that's fine.
I am one such person.
But if they're gonna do that, you have to give them something to keep them playing the game offline at least. With that, I guess we'll talk about new IPs. Again, we keep saying no IPs. I don't know what it would be, but in Capcom's case, technically I don't think it'd be a new IP. I would like them to revisit certain old franchises, because they killed Mega Man. I don't think they even want to touch Mega Man.
I was gonna say,
and they have a freaking like factory of beloved franchise characters. I think they have the most recognizable characters besides Nintendo, but they just don't touch them. And I think that's a missed opportunity, because I know for a fact a lot of people would buy a new Mega Man, either Mega Man X, or any of those other compilations.
If they made a really good Mega Man game, I think they could restart the series. Unlike, how Sega, they try to come out with a new Sonic game and it just flatlines every time. I feel like if they went and actually really worked hard on a Mega Man game, they could probably revitalize it. I know a lot of people are kind of bored of 2D, but maybe make it a 2.5. I think Square Enix, they just announced some sort of Final Fantasy game, and it's a 2.5 game.
Yeah,
where
Project Octopath Travelers, I think.
Yeah, where you're basically, or I think it's supposed to be, I'm not sure.
Or Bravely Default?
No, because it's literally just it's a sort of Final Fantasy game, and you literally walk, the screen itself is just flat, but you walk through, and then it becomes 3D as you fight and things like that. If they could do something that would like that with Mega Man, or maybe add that to a kind of a platforming thing where where, you know, maybe you can work within 2D and 3D. I think, what is it, Paper Mario, they worked on that. They did it before. They were successful. If Capcom could do that with Mega Man, you bring back Mega Man, everybody would, you know, they'd be throwing money at you just to play this new game because they've got a, you know, huge fan base on that. I think you'll see maybe an expansion for Resident Evil or a new Resident Evil game.
Resident Evil 2 Remastered, I think this year they should talk about, because they haven't talked about it, and I think, I think it's been 2 years it was announced that they were working on it, and I know people who love that game. I'm personally not a fan of survival horror, but I can understand why people are hyped for that. And I think this year they should show off something, whether it's a trailer or screenshots. I think they should show off something to show fans, hey, we're still working on this. It's just taking us a little longer because, you know, it's taking that much resource for us to work with. And on that, I think we'll then move on to our next company, Sega. Sega, I'm impressed with. They got two Yakuza games coming out. They've got the Yakuza for the mobile. That doesn't interest me at all. Then they've got Yakuza Kawi 2. Is it Kawi or Kamui?
I'm not sure. I just know that I picked up the remastered of the one for PS2. I haven't been able to play it, but I've been like, I want to play it so bad.
But I know that's going to be announced. And then, of course, the game that I was the most hyped for was the Fist of the North Star game, because that looks awesome. And I think the guy that does the main character for Yakuza is the best sounding Kenshiro I've ever heard. So I find that interesting to have like a Yakuza type game in the world of, you know, Fist of the North Star, because I think that lends itself very well in a like post-apocalyptic setting.
I think it could work.
So I would really like to see gameplay of that at this TGS.
Well, they just showed off Rao and
yeah, they talked about Rao, Raikon, and then 2 new characters that are specific to the game.
Well, that's good.
But what I want to say about that is it looks like it's going to be a fun game, and I hope it gets announced for the West, because they talked about it in a direct they did for Japan. But then after that, they gave us a survey asking us what we thought about these, and a lot of people were like, they really want to see the second remastered Yakuza game come over, and they definitely wanted to see the Fist of the North Star game come over. So hopefully that translates well and shows them that, hey, we're interested in that. And again, with Sega, I would also say, personally, I love Valkyria Chronicles, so I would really love it if they brought over, or they did a compilation of Valkyria Chronicles 2 HD, but instead of it just being the second game for the PSP, I would want it to actually be the second and third game, HDified PlayStation 4, bring that over to us, and it would be the first time that I think Valkyria Chronicles 3 would be to the West, because it never came over to the West, so that would be interesting. I don't care if it would be English or not, as long as you give me subtitles, that's all I care about, because I heard from a friend of ours that the third game is apparently really good, and it fixes all the problems of the second game.
Yeah, he said 2 is horrible compared to the first one and the third one, but he said the third one they somehow got it right. I don't know what it is with Japan. You know, they can make a really great first game,
mediocre or crappy second game.
The second game, you're just like, God, why do I play this series? Third game, you're like, okay, I remember why.
Exactly. 3 is a lucky number, isn't it? That's how it usually goes.
I think so, at least in Japan. Like, I don't know. Over here, it's usually the super death knell.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 1.
I guess Sega's also got Sonic. But we already know about Sonic Forces, so they're going to show the crap ton out of that.
Don't they have a second Sonic game in the works?
No, I think that one already came out. The 2D, like the pure 2D one. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
I only know of Forces. That's the only Sonic game I know that they're still working on right now.
I was talking about it at work with my manager, and he was saying that I think there's a second or a third one that's coming out.
Well, I'm not a huge Sonic fan, so I only keep up with what I think I'm interested in. But if it is, hopefully it's fun. I mean, most 3D Sonic games unfortunately aren't fun.
They don't know what they're doing. So when it comes to the Sonic games, at least they they put it out there, and most of them seem to be mostly either nostalgia, like they base it off of old boards, or it's just a endurance test.
And then we also have Atlas, which I think does most of their RPGs. I don't think we're going to hear anything substantial from Atlas unless they talk about their new RPG that they were making. I think it's like Project... Wow, what is it? It's Project Lost or Project Fool something. It's a fantasy RPG that they're working on.
I'm not
but
sure.
I don't know if they're going to talk about it at all, because I know they're very famous for Persona, and I think they're making a remake of the first Persona for the Switch, but I don't think they'll give us any new titles at TGS. Like, I don't see them giving us any new new announcements for new titles.
I think that most Atlas is probably going to be like, here's some sort of expansion or like for Persona 5. Like, just here's something for Persona 5 for the fans out there. Not like a full-on, here's Persona 5 Duodessa 13. Sorry, Japan has a ridiculous naming system.
Yeah, you do. All right, let's move on to Bandai Namco. This time we can talk about Soul Calibur.
Yeah!
I guess this is my second most anticipated developer over there, because they have most of the anime IPs that, you know, we all know. Yeah. And one series I hope definitely gets an announcement this year, and I hope it's a brand new Tales game, because I am enjoying Tales of Berseria. It's taken me a while to beat it, because unfortunately you got to find time between making videos and doing work to, you know, enjoy games. But I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot more fun than I ever did with Zestiria. I hate Zestiria. You can ask my friend over here. He was here with Dragon Man. You can... he was there for the night where I told Zestiria to, you know, F off.
He's fighting the end boss. And the end boss is like, let me tell you my backstory. He's like, no, you just die now.
Yeah, guys, little fun story about that. I was fighting this guy for, what, almost 2 hours?
I think so, because
I was underleveled, because I just abused the hell out of the fusion system, and I just didn't care about the game, and I wanted to finish it as quick as possible. And it literally turned into about 2 to almost 3 hours of pure hell for me trying to beat this end boss who I was underleveled to fight.
My favorite part about, I think, the entire ending of that game was you beat the game, you don't care about the end boss who's trying to, you know, redeem himself. You get through all the characters, you're like, my god, I don't care about any of you. You all suck. You talk about a random NPC you met at the beginning of the game, and you're like, my god, I hope he's happy. Where is he? Is he still alive? He better be alive, or this game is going to the trash.
I forget his name, but I literally didn't give any crap about the cast. I didn't care. I didn't even care about some of the secondary. He was just a random generic who just had a name I liked, and he talked really cool, and I was like, you are my favorite character as of this moment in this game. And Dragon Man was there with me when I went back to the village, because you go back to the village, you find out it's been destroyed, and you got to save the old man who raised you. And my first response was, oh my god, where is he? I don't care about any of you. I would sacrifice all of you if he survived. And I frantically looked for him in the entire village. I found him, and I was like, good. If everyone else has to die, you get to live. You must live and tell my tale.
Exactly.
But I think a new Tales game would be nice. Whether it's going to be for the Switch or it would be for the PlayStation 4, I'd say Xbox, but Japan really doesn't like the Xbox over there.
I say what they do with Tales is... Because I think, they're right now in, like, a trilogy?
No.
Or something like that?
Berseria and Zestiria are loosely tied together. Berseria takes place, like, I think 400 years before Zestiria.
I say just scrap this timeline. I mean, I know Berseria is apparently really good, but just, you know... I think like, one of the criticisms, at least you and our friend has been saying is that... Or, I know he didn't play Berseria, but he's been saying that because he knows the game ends with Zestiria, he's just like, I don't want to play the other one. Because he knows the ultimate outcome is just that game. So he's just like, it dampens and destroys.
Which is a shame. Berseria is really good, and I really like Velvet as a main character. I can get behind the whole rage and revenge thing. It's like my motif.
No, the guy who likes Berserk can get behind the rage and revenge story.
Not even speaking of Berserk, but still on Bandai Namco, I would like to see gameplay of the new Gintama game, Gintama Rumble, that they were talking about. Because from what I understand is it's going to be Muso-esque, so I'm very interested. I'm always interested to see how other companies try to handle what Koei has made a livelihood of for all these years. It's always interesting to see how they do.
I think the only one who's ever come close is Platinum, and I think they still fail.
I think that might be. I know Capcom...
Capcom made Sengoku, and I mean, it was close, but I think it was mostly because you and I played Sengoku Basara, and we made it more fun than it was.
We just kept... that was a blast. I am here to defeat you, Nobunaga. It is I, Mitsuhide. Mitsu who? Bam!
Exactly.
Going off of that, I'm a huge fan of the Super Robot Wars series. This is something my co-host here, unfortunately, will have no frame of reference on.
It's a mech anime, right?
Yeah, it's a mecha anime. I freaking love them. them.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, like Full Metal Alchemist. Thanks, man. No, but I would love to see either a new entry in the Super Robot Wars, even though we just got Super Robot Wars V, or a new title in Super Robot Wars Original Generations. Either or would be fine with me, because I just love those games, and I hope they'll get like Hong Kong versions, because that's what I really like. What Bandai Namco is doing is, if they can't bring it over to the West officially, they'll give us a Hong Kong version, which is like, you know,
at
Southeast,
English subs.
English subs, so you can play them if you want, which I think is a really good idea.
Yeah.
If you know you have to deal with copyright, because those are the type of games that you will get copyrighted. Like,
well, it's probably because of like Robotech.
Oh God,
them.
that's because all the robots over here are owned by different companies. You know, like, so they'd have to pay.
Well, that's what I was saying. I think the one they have either BattleTech or Robotech. In Japan, there's like 16 of those games, but in America there's none. And the reason why is because there's one company who owns the anime rights to Robotech, and they keep suing everybody every time they try to bring it over because they can't get a piece of the pie. And it's just like, yeah, no.
Next, I would love to see, and I know as of this recording, we just got revealed that Yamcha and Tien are joining the cast of Dragon Ball FighterZ as playable characters, and Android 21, which I don't think will be playable because she doesn't seem like she'd be.
She seems like kind of a generic.
Yeah, she seems like the main bad guy of the story. But I would like to see another character reveal at TGS, like one character reveal. And I think it should be someone like Brawly, like someone we all know who's a fan favorite. Like, just show him off, because I feel
I don't
like
know if Brawly's a fan favorite in Japan.
No, he is.
He is,
dude. His
Japan loves.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, okay.
Japan loves Brawly.
Then show off Brawly.
I mean,
or throw us a curveball, or
cooler, or someone. But I want to see more villains. Because
Yeah.
at this point, it's been nothing but the heroes showing up. I know Broly for a fact is popular, whether you like him or not. I only like him because of what he is to me. He's just a power fantasy to the extreme.
I think that if they, I don't know if they'll, have a new character reveal, but if they do something, at least have gameplay, show us off maybe some of the story, like, oh, here's, a little bit of what's going on, so we can figure out, like, oh, okay, so this is how this is gonna work, or, so that we're not like, can I play Super Saiyan God Vegeta at the beginning of the game? No. Why not?
Or if you're not going to do Broly, maybe pick one of the super characters that's really famous. I know Beerus is really loved. I know Hit's got a huge following.
Hit is the best.
I think he would fit. I think either of them would fit well in a fighting game like this.
Or I know he's recent in the story. Maybe have like Jiren, just have him like a super, like as a, I don't know if there's supports in the game, but have him as like a support.
There is, but they're characters, so like a support is an actual character like on the roster, because you switch out the characters.
Yeah. I figure because it's probably like Marvel vs. Capcom. That
it's like thing. Marvel vs. Capcom.
But you just, I guess, would sacrifice a character choice for support instead.
Yeah,
that sounds interesting, and I think that's a nice way to deal with it.
I just haven't watched Super. I just only see what I see off the internet.
Yeah, Jiren is the new bad guy. He's going to be the stronger than Hit. He took down female Broly in a single blast, so you can tell he's super powerful considering female Broly held back Super Saiyan God Goku easily.
Yeah, I know a lot of people lost their collective what's about that.
Yeah, I'm still salty about it.
But that's a tirade we could go on for an entire episode.
We could go on for days about that.
Next, I would love to see a My Hero Academia game. I don't know if I'd want a fighting game. I would like a fighting game, but if I did, I would kind of want Arcs to do it, because I feel like Arcs would make a really good My Hero Academia fighting game. If it's not a fighting game, I'm cool with an open action game.
I know that this sounds crazy, but I think what they could do, and I know they won't, but they could do kind of an RPG. Have you as some, maybe you're quirkless, maybe you play the game, you earn quirks, and then you can make a new character and play with that quirk. And then you play the story. Maybe they say, oh, there's a guy who, the villain of it is he's a quirk. He's this guy who has a quirk, and it's just that he can cause a loop in time, and you have to keep playing the story over and over again, and eventually you're able to break through, and you can recruit some of the other heroes to help you. Eventually you can get maybe Alt Might as like a support to help, and
yeah, that could work. Personally, for me, those type of games don't interest me. I'd rather play as the character, because I've never really cared enough to put myself in the world. I would rather want to be a character from the world, because the characters in there to me are already established, the badass, and you know what they got. That's just my personal taste, but I agree.
or
that could be a good way to handle it, like a Xenoverse.
Yeah. Or I was gonna say too that you could just have it that you play from the perspective of the character, like maybe how does Midori handle this, and then slowly but surely that could be the ending. You play as Midori, or or you end up getting Midori's power, maybe just for a little bit.
But I think that's a good thing, because I feel like Academia has hit like its pitch right now. Like it's the popular.
It is number 2 in Shonen, so
yeah, it's more popular than Black Clover, because I know Black Clover is at least in the top 3. Yeah. It lost out to One Piece, right? That's still number 1.
One Piece is still number 1, but that's because it's, I think, Legacy.
Oh, yeah, it's the last of the Monster 3.
It's the last of the Monster 3. The new Monster 3, as I think you said, is Black Clover, My Hero, and One Piece.
Speaking of One Piece, that's a great way to segue into One Piece games. We do know from a reveal earlier that they're working on a One Piece VR game, which I'm not interested in. I'm not a huge VR fan, even if I do get to hang out with the ladies of One Piece. It's for science.
It's always for science. Maybe you get Red World 2.
I don't know. They're talking about a second game that's unparalleled, or I don't know what the word is. It's not unparalleled, but it's not been seen before. It's not been
unprecedented.
Yes, there we go. It's an unprecedented game, which I don't know.
Maybe they take that idea that I had with My Hero Academia and they put it in One Piece.
Oh God, could you imagine? Who? If that game was shut off, he would flip his ever-loving mind at that, and we would never hear the end of it.
We would
never
lose him to the sands of time.
I see what you did there, crocodile reference.
Yeah.
It's his favorite character.
But if not, maybe they reveal, what was it, One Piece Warriors,
One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. I would love that. If they did that, I would want them to either make up their own story, because I feel like there's not enough in the Big Mom current arc to justify Endgame.
Yeah, I think they just make a new story, because they kind of not retcon, but they kind of just made up their own ending to the last one anyway.
Yeah.
So just create their own story, add new characters, like here's Jesus Burgess, who needs to be added to the game yesterday.
I would love him to be in there. If we were going to go with that, probably maybe some new characters, like maybe someone from Don Flamingo's family, so that way when they get to Dressrosa, or if not, at least he has a representative.
Maybe just add Carrot.
That would be cool. Carrot. We could also add maybe Rebecca, maybe other characters too. Personally, I would love, but I know it's not going to happen because we got Dragon Ball FighterZ, I would love ArcSystem Works to make a fighting game for One Piece, and I think it would do good in the Dragon Ball setting, because then you could have a team of 2 or 3. Because
you mean something better than Burning Blood?
I'd say what you want. I whooped all your butts in that.
Yeah, but that game was first hit the game.
Yeah, and guess who got the first hit?
Maybe they get somebody. I don't know who did Budokai, but maybe they get somebody who did that.
I didn't, but I would want just a traditional 2D fighter for me personally.
I know.
Maybe done in the same way that Dragon Ball is. 2D, 2.5 with that awesome, beautiful anime look. I think.
Yeah. I'm just saying maybe they do that, or what is it, CyberWorks? I think it's
CyberConnect Works. Yeah.
Yeah, they get kind of.
They're the Naruto guys.
They get kind of not mercenaried out, but they get kind of pulled in for some of the fighting games.
Yeah.
Maybe they do that for One Piece, because, I think Burning Blood had potential, but they kind of, they squandered it.
If you were a Logia type, no one could touch you, and if you had no hockey to battle them, why you never picked the character? Because if you had to deal with someone who was a Logia type and you didn't have any hockey at all, which there were characters, it was essentially a free round for the guy.
But you know what else is not a free round? Soul Calibur.
Yeah, I see what you did there. We haven't heard anything about this series since Soul Calibur 5, right?
Yeah, Soul Calibur 5.
There was that one Soul Calibur game that I think was free to play.
I think there was a mobile game.
Yeah, but other than that, we haven't seen.
I think that coincided with 5.
Yeah, it did.
I would love to see a new one of that.
My personal opinion on that would be reboot. I would say do a reboot of Soul Calibur. Take it back to the beginning and then retell the story. Because you and me both agree we did not really like Soul Calibur 5 that much.
I did not like Soul Calibur 5 at all, and the reason why, and people can say that that's kind of confusing. I always thought Keelik was the main character. I didn't know apparently Sophidia is the main character of the series.
I thought it was Siegfried.
Yeah, I thought Siegfried or Keelik. Keelik and Siegfried are the kind of the you know who they are. They're the big characters on the box, basically. I didn't see Sophidia. Like, she's interesting, she's fun, I'm sure she has a following, but I didn't know she was the main character. So then when she had 2 kids, and that's how 5 is, the 2 kids end up coming together to beat it.
I think the problem with 5 was it followed in Tekken, was it 4's steps, where it took some of the well-known characters like Law, replaced them with Forest Law, and
3 started replacing character. I mean, they always replaced characters, because like in Tekken, the original one, Beck is Haorong's character, and then you get to a point where Beck is not really a character anymore, and they just were like, well, here's Haorong. And
I think that's what they were doing with Soul Calibur 5, is
they were trying to have a transition, but they didn't really do a good job of transitioning.
Yeah, not a lot of people, I think, like the newcomers. Most people wanted Taki back. They didn't want her assistant, who was Naruto, essentially.
Yeah.
I didn't want Shiba. I wanted Keelik.
Shiba was boring. They didn't really do much with him. Zwei was just like cool.
Patroclus and
his sister.
I forget her name. But they didn't strike me as interesting because they were just like Sophigia clones.
Yeah.
And wasn't Patroclus like an unredeemable ass?
I can't remember.
I remember you told me you beat the story mode because you had to fight like Omega Sophigia or something, and she was just like ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it was like God mode, and just like they just either need to reboot the series, or they need to really zone in and figure out what we want from 6. Maybe bring back Taki. Maybe
I still say reboot the whole series and give us back our originals and retell the story.
Retell the story would probably be the best thing for them to do, but I feel like they don't want to end with what they ended with, because they didn't really end the game, so they probably want to be like, well, you know what, even if it's just a bad game, no offense, even if they put out 6 and they're like, here's 6, it's not what everybody loves and what everybody wants, here it is, deal with it.
I mean, I think that's a safe bet. Yeah. We'll move on to Platinum now, who are also kings of saying just deal with it.
Yeah.
Because they are also masterful trolls.
Oh wait, hold on. One thing before. I have a perfect character for them to add to 6 as a guest character.
They'll lay it on me.
Guts.
That's just not fair for everyone involved. Cause
just make it so he's in the Berserk armor all the time.
No, that's not even fair, man.
Just make him a really fast version of Nightmare.
That's not even fair for everyone involved, man. And speaking of Guts, Platinum. Platinum. They're doing good. They are teasing us, though, with those tweets they put out a couple while ago of, like, Bayonetta 1 and 2 in Switch colors and Wonderful 101 being played, I think, off of Switch. So I think it's a safe bet to say that they're probably going to reveal, like, Switch ports of those games. And then I think it'd be a nice touch to, like, maybe when that's all done, maybe hint that they're working on maybe, like, No More Heroes 2.1 or Bayonetta 3 just to get hype, and they'll talk about it later down the line.
Or maybe, and I don't know, it might not, but maybe they're just like, oh, and PlayStation is the one who's now going to revitalize Scalebound, and everybody gets Scalebound.
That would probably crush Microsoft.
Yeah,
because they were banking a lot on that.
They were, and maybe Platinum is able to put it out, and they're just like, here you go, here it is, and it's now on PlayStation because PlayStation could fund them better.
But other than the ports and Bayonetta 3, if I had to pick one more game that I'd like Platinum to do, I think I would like them to either do the Kill la Kill game that they wanted to do or the Berserk game that they wanted to do, because I feel like both lend themselves really well to Platinum's like fast-paced action style. You could probably get like really good visuals. I feel like Berserk, if they did that, it would be the most ridiculous, stylized, awesome-looking Berserk we could ever see with the amount of blood and gore they would have on screen. And they would probably do the Berserk armor right. They would probably make you even like 10 times faster, because I feel like the animation for that would be like god tier.
In Koei's version, I mean, it was great to have the Berserk armor, but I wanted more out of it.
I know, dude. I would have loved to have been able to tear through, like, even more suckers.
I think if, I'm sure they're going to come up with some other action game that they'll do, something we're not expecting. Maybe, they did Nier, right?
Yes, they worked on Nier. So that's a Square Enix property, though.
I was going to say, maybe, they'll announce that there's a, whatchamacallit, an expansion or something for it.
Yeah, I would say expansion, because there's no way they're working on a second one right now. That game is still huge a year out of...
It just came out. Everybody was loving it. So
exactly,
I said they might just build on that, because a lot of people like building on their stuff. So the house that Platinum built it's a good one.
Yeah, and that really put them on the map as like a strong action developer. So I'm glad that Nier helped them out that way. I guess we'll move on to ArcSystem Works. This one's mostly going to be me, and all I really want from Arcs is like Blaze Blue cross tag battle. I want a release window. If not a release window, I definitely want to know what platforms this are going on, because I don't know if it's going to be on PlayStation 4 and Xbox, or if this is going to be the Switch title they were talking about, because they did promise at least one Switch game from the Blaze Blue franchise. So I don't know. I just really want to know what's going on with Blaze Blue cross tag. And personal hope, personal wish, if I could pick one Blaze Blue character, I'd want it to be Jubei. Yes, I know he just dropped. Yes, I know he's brand new, and he probably doesn't, I don't know if he's fun for other people to play online, but I love him, and I'm glad he's finally in Blaze Blue, and I feel like I just want to see him in more games other than just the last Blaze Blue of Ragnar's story arc.
Isn't Jubei a reference to your namesake as well? Is it not?
Yeah, it is a reference to my namesake, but I'd also like to think I brought in inspiration from other things. But I do love Jubei. He is hands down my favorite Blaze Blue character, and I'm finally glad that he's in the game. And other than that, if they do another Guilty Gear, I know they did Guilty Gear Xrd 2 Revelator, which continues the Xrd storyline. If they do Xrd 3 Revelator, I would be okay with it. If they did that, I haven't really picked a character in there that I like to play as. None of them like gravitate towards me because I find it a little harder than Blaze Blue to structure the combos. But if they were to reveal a next expansion for that, I would love them to pick Gabriel, because in the game, he's this badass like president who literally doesn't have, I think, like magic or anything. He's just insanely physically strong and fast, and he beats up a guy in the story mode that everyone else in the cast has a hard time dealing with, and he does it with very minimum effort. I'm like, this guy's amazing. Why isn't he in the game yet? And I think that would be a good opportunity to add him. And I know for a fact that would get me to jump on into the Xrd timeline again.
Oh, that's good.
I guess we'll talk about Nintendo next, even though I'm pretty sure they don't go to TGS, but let's be honest.
They'll probably have a direct, or they'll make some note of something.
Exactly. They'll drop something. If I had to guess, the number one thing I want from Nintendo right now would just show off the new Fire Emblem that they're working for the Switch. All we know is it's just called Fire Emblem.
They really need to get some stuff out there, because I'd also like to know like a time frame. Like, are we talking next year? Are we talking the year?
No, yeah,
after?
they're talking about next year. They say it's supposed to come out next year.
It's supposed to come out in 2018? Okay, yeah. Then we need some more stuff.
I want them to show off a trailer, and I want it to just be who we might think the main character is, and what we think the setting will be, and maybe the logo.
I was going to say, maybe what they do is they do just a panning shot of, maybe they show a character, oh, here's a Myrmidon, here's a horse character. It hands back to who possibly is the main character, and then just tells Fire Emblem and the actual name of whatever the Fire Emblem it is.
Exactly. That's all I really need to be happy from Nintendo. But then, I guess if we want to talk about Pipe Dreams, I would say Pipe Dreams from Nintendo, I would love to see a Golden Sun remake or a Golden Sun collection on the Switch. I think that would be great, and a great way to reinvigorate people in this RPG franchise that is really underrated.
I'll tell you a pipe dream I'm having, that they'll give us some information on Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon.
What?
Oh, we just put out a thing. Here's 2 new Ubers, and here's some
people
fun
don't care
stuff
about Pokemon.
Here's a Necrozma. He fuses together with the other Pokemon. I want to know more. What's the story? What's going on?
I'm surprised you're not more interested in the freaking, title they're working on for the Switch. A main series title for the Switch.
I want to know about that. I really do. I'd love for them to announce it. But right now, I want to know about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, because I'm looking at it and going, is this a sequel? Is this happening after the game? Is it happening before the game? Or is it just an alternate timeline? If it's an alternate timeline, what's going on with it?
Might be an expansion.
Yeah. Why do you have these 2 new Pokemon? What's this whole Necrozma timeline thing going on? What, is it going to have the gyms? Are we going back to the old system? Because I'll tell you right now, the new system with the trials, interesting, fun, cool. It was a great, side trip. But I want the gym battles back. I miss the gym battles. They're just so nice. Or give me the remakes. I want to see the remakes of Sinnoh. I really want to see that. I think it's going to be really fun, and so on and so forth. But beyond that, that Mario, the successor to Mario 64.
Mario Odyssey?
Yeah, Mario Odyssey. I'd love to see a little bit more of that.
I think they've shown the hell out of that, though. I think they say there's more stuff they want to show, but it feels like we've seen enough. Like, people just want the game in their hands now.
Yeah, I think they should just come out and be like, here's the release date.
I would like them to also either make a new Donkey Kong title, like say they're working on for the Switch, or give us a Switch compilation of, Tropical Freeze and Donkey Kong Country Returns, because I would love to do that. I would pick it up for a Switch. I didn't pick up the Wii U because that thing was marketed terribly.
Yeah, it was a bad console, to be honest.
But it had good games. Another good game I'd like to see ported would be Super Smash Brothers.
I was going to say Super Smash Brothers, either port it or, and I know they won't.
No, a new one?
Hint at a new one.
I don't know. I feel like that's a little... Actually, no, I think the game's how old? Like, it's 3 or 4 years now, isn't it?
3 or 4 years. And what I was going to say is, you don't have to say, like, oh, Super Smash Switch is coming out. Just be like, look, we're thinking about it. We're working on it. We're going to come up with something. It might not be now. It might not be next year. It might be 2 or 3 years from now. But
we're working on it.
We're working on it.
But here in the meantime...
Yeah, here's something in the meantime. Or,
And Pokemon, I'm sorry. And the...
Pokken.
the Switch version would have, all the DLC characters and everything. It would just be the complete edition, which I think would be nice. And then my last thing I really want from Nintendo, and I'm pretty damn sure they're not going to announce that at TGS, but I just want it because that will just make the console even infinitely more better in my eyes. Give us that virtual console where I can go
Punch Out 3D. I'm right there with you.
So I can go online, so I can go onto the eShop, buy old Fire Emblem titles, all the old GBA titles, and just have it with me on one console as I can play on the big screen or go out with the console. I think, and I know Nintendo knows this, that would instantly sell the Switch. On nostalgia alone, the Switch would sell even more if you gave that and just continue to build the library. But I don't know. Nintendo sometimes the decisions.
I know that I know it's a Square Enix title, but give me Final Fantasy Mystic Quest HD on the Switch.
Why? What is wrong with you?
Because that was my first Final Fantasy.
No.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That horrible, watered down RPG. That's not. Oh my god! I feel so sorry for you. Final Fantasy VII was my first Final Fantasy.
I think on the NES there was a Final Fantasy I played. It's either there's one with crystals and then there's I can't remember them all.
I mean, they all have crystals.
And there was Mystic Quest, and I'm pretty sure I played both. I didn't get far because I did not understand the random encounter as a child. Wow. And I was just like, why can't I kill these things? I'm awesome.
Wow. Yep. Oh, that was a nice segue to go into Square Enix too. Square has been doing pretty recently well. I do like that they announced the Secret of Mana remake. I'm not a big Secret of Mana fan, but I feel like if that does well, they might do a remake of like maybe Chrono Trigger, which I know a lot of people love.
Oh, they really wanted a Chrono Trigger one or a sequel or something like that.
Like, that would be a great time, like, to bring Chrono Trigger to, like, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Switch, and just tell everyone, like, hey, it's a remake, still have a Toriyama, like, graphics, be able to, like, reproduce that in-game, and I guarantee you it would be awesome, and don't change the battle system, because I guarantee you...
People will definitely be pissed if you change that much.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, anything, a screenshot, Tifa reveal, Aerith reveal, Red 13. I'm not asking you guys for a release date, I'm really not, but I want like either a trailer or a couple screenshots to like show us that you're like working on it and that you're willing to give us more information,
I would say the smart thing for them to do would be, because they have Barrett right now, right?
Barrett's the only confirmed party member besides Cloud.
I say show off Aerith, and the way you do it, because they want to show off how the system works and how look at our graphics and how amazing they are. Well, here's what you do. You start it off, and it's, really zoomed in on one of, like, the flowers, and then slowly but surely you pan back, show off all the particle effects and everything like that. But it's just the church where you meet Aerith, and then you just have maybe Aerith walk through the front door, and then that's where it ends. You can see her design, how she looks, and then you don't have to show off gameplay. You just, boom, there she is. And, that's her reveal. And then you talk about it, and you tell us what's going to happen, maybe give a kind of a window.
I would say 2019.
Yeah, just be like, tentatively, here's where we are, here's what we're thinking, and, just end it there. And
I just want some goodwill. And then, I know they said they aren't going to talk about it, but there's no way they're not going to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3. At this point, there's no way. We know it's coming out next year. There's no way they're not going to show something at TGS, whether it's Riku's reveal, Kairu's reveal, or something. There's no way they're not going to have a trailer.
Maybe
at
they'll
least.
Just, like, you know what they'll do? They'll do the Square Enix special. They'll give us the one they gave us from D23 or D EX or whatever the thing was.
Add 10 more seconds.
Add 10 more seconds, and it would just be like, I don't know, like Ansem talking for a few seconds, just like, oh, and the darkness, ow, it knows all things. And then just, there you go. That's the end of the trailer.
Darkness knows all things.
The light is for fools. And then bam, we're done. We've added everything we need to know. Goofy, you ain't got nothing on this. And then he does his angry pose, and boom, we're ready. We're good.
I agree. I would like them to show off maybe a new world. If not a new world, I just want another reveal of maybe like Kairi or Riku. Show off where they think it is. Maybe finally show off some English, because I don't think we've seen any English trailers recently. Because I know all the voice acting's done. They said that all the English voice actors are done recording their lines. So
I think they'll save the English though.
Yeah, I think they will too. Either way, I just want Kingdom Hearts 3 to be there, because I've been waiting over 12 years to finish this freaking saga.
Never!
You shut your mouth. I will get that game.
It will end with question mark. I have defeated Ansem.
You shut your mouth.
Maybe.
You shut your mouth right now.
See you in 20 years.
Speaking of 20 years, Sony. I only have one prediction, and it's the same prediction I'm always going to make regardless of the year, the time, the space, the continuum. Mm-hmm. I want either a Legend of Dragoons remake or a Legends of Dragoon remastered for my PlayStation 4. Every year I'm going to make these videos, it's going to be on that list. Every year it's not going to happen, but it's still going to be on this list.
Sony's probably gonna...
Every prediction, every trade show, E3, Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show, PSX. That's right, guys. Wait for the PSX video, because it's going to be on that list, too. This is going to be a reoccurring thing until it happens. And then I'm going to literally go batshit.
Yeah. I don't think they're... I don't know. I don't know what they're going to put out there. You know what they really need to put out? And they're not going to, because it's Japan. They're not going to put The Last of Us 2, which we really need to see. And they're not going to put God of War, which we really need to see. And they're just going to go...
Crap, I just realized Last of Us 2 is a thing. They haven't talked about it since it was revealed.
They have one trailer, and it's been 2 years.
Really?
Basically.
Wow. That's like one of their major franchises is over here, at least, I know.
Yeah, like, you're gonna get to E3 2018, and they're gonna have to talk about it, because they haven't talked about it. I think, they released the trailer either 2015 or 2016, because it was at PSX. So we're either coming up on a year, or...
coming up on two.
So, Sony's probably not gonna talk about that stuff, because it's, Japan's market, so they'll probably talk about more, like, here's what the third parties are doing.
Yeah, I think that's mostly what their stage show is going to be about, is the third show, because they really don't have any first party like games that we know of that appeal to the Japanese or us in the West.
Knack 2. I think that's already out, but
yeah, I think it is too.
I think it's already out, but they'll probably be like, here it is, guys, take a look.
All right, and to end this all off, I'm just going to go off Miscellaneous. These are companies that aren't that huge, but I just want these games. I want a brand new Utawari no Omi. I love this franchise. I still haven't played Mask of Truth. I have it. I want to play it. I've just got too much backlog. I want a new game. I want a new game. Atlas.
Is that
Aqualus. Give me this new game. I will buy it, and I will love it. Senran Kagura, the new game, the 7 game. I want that to be there. I want them to show off anything. We don't know what type of game it is. I'm assuming it's an action game, but...
I think they just showed off the Waifu Simulator one.
Yeah, they showed off the one for the Switch, but this brand new one, I think, is the number titled after Peach Beach Splash, so this is everything, I think, combined, all the universes. Yeah. So, we don't know what it is. We don't know if it's an action game. I think it's an action game because they said they wanted to make another action game, but all we have is a trailer that didn't really show off anything other than, like, the title screen. Yeah. So, I want to see something for it.
Even if it's just, like, Asuka running around?
I just want to see something other than a key visual or something that lets me know what the game will be. And another pipe dream, a new Bloody Roar game, and I know that's never going to happen because that's owned by Konami and they don't like money.
You know what, well, I mean, we'll never see a Silent Hill. We'll see probably some garbage Metal Gear that won't be a main series. It'll just be some nonsense because it's Konami. But you know what I would like to see? Oh yeah, and Castlevania will never come out. But you know what I would love to see? And I haven't seen too much, and I would love to see more. Ni no Kuni.
That's BandaiNamco.
Yeah, I know, but this is Miscellaneous, and we didn't think about that back then. So
yeah, you're right. My bad.
I'd like to see more Ni no Kuni because I'm thinking Studio Ghibli.
They're not involved in this one.
They're not involved in this
No.
one? Okay, well, either way, I want to see more. I want to see, like, I'm sure Japan will get some big thing out of it, but I want to see something from there in TGS.
All I want, I guess, to end our thoughts on this, I think we both just really want that one reveal, like that one game that makes the rest of the conferences this year mean something, like that one title that's like gonna be big for both the West and the East.
I kind of want to go into TGS and I want them to reveal something that I didn't know I wanted.
Yeah, I want that too.
Like, they have a new game, Kirika Castle or something like that, that's coming over to the West. Haven't heard anything about it. I've seen it on DualShockers, and I was like, maybe I'll check it out, because I think it's like an action RPG, and I was like, or it's like a turn-based. Either way, something to like rock my socks. Show me something I'm not gonna see coming.
Yeah, I think that's what we all really want, is just that one reveal, that one thing that's just gonna blow us away, and I don't think we've seen it at all this year for all the other events. But that's probably going to do it for us, guys. And as always, if you're still here, thank you immensely for watching. You can click the link down at the bottom. I will have it to my Twitter and to my friend's over here channel, so please feel free to watch that. He just released a video talking about Joe Kong, and he'll be producing more videos in the near future. So, help him feel loved, hopefully.
Because everything's incorporated.
Exactly.
It's in the title, so,
See, everything comes back to him somehow.
Yeah.
But leave some comments. I always try to get back to you guys. Subscribe if you haven't. Share this video around. It helps out the channel immensely. Click that bell button. It'll let you know when my videos go up so you don't have to guess. This was fun, and I'm glad you were able to join me for this, man.
I am glad to be on, and if I have any of these on my channel, you are most certainly invited.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's going to be it. I want you all to have a great day, and remember, let's rock!